Hello, welcome. My name is Kwabena Darko. Welcome. Today I want to share with you your property or the rental property that you have in the finances, how to manage the finances of your rental properties. And so please share the channel with your friends, with your family, with anybody you think will be interested in any information like this one. So people have their properties that they rent, whether it's just maybe single room self-contained, or maybe what we call self-compound, maybe 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom self-compound, or maybe you have a compound house, you have a lot of people living in your house, or you have apartment that you rent. Some people manage their properties very informally, and some others manage their properties formally. I think that in order to build anything and build it well and manage it well and do it well such that another person can take over, or such that you can experience some growth and handle and maybe have a lot of things less in terms of frustration and stress well under control. I think that you have to maybe look at how you do things and do them orderly and do them professionally. And so I want to share with you some few things that I think you should take into consideration in terms of the finances, because in the first place, if you don't have the finances well organized, well thought out, it will be very difficult for you to even have the structure put up in the or built. So some people want to build and they have no idea how much it's going to cost, and they have no idea at what point they are going to finish. I think that in as much as you don't want to know the cost, because most people don't want to know the cost of how much it's going to take them to build, I think you should still have a fair idea, even if it's a range. So that 2-bedroom house, how much is it going to cost? That apartment that you're going to put up, how much is it going to cost? It will guide you. Then you'll be able to at least position to say that maybe I can start this and finish this time, or maybe I don't need to start this time, I have to wait. It's important. So, and one of the things, and if you have also, let's say you have built it, and you want to manage the finance, is different. But I also think that a lot of the times you should look at the finances, and then you should look at the kind of property that you can manage at this point, at this stage in your business, and you have to manage it as a business. You have to have it planned well, even if your grandfather left it to you. Your grandfather built it and your mother or your father came to handle it, and now it's your turn. The moment you're able to manage things well, you start to have good results. And so the finances, look at the rent well. Do you take your rent, let's say monthly? Do you take your rent every 3 months, or every month, every 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, as we do it in Ghana? How do you do that? Maybe you even have shops that you rent. How do you do that? It's very much important you have a good understanding of how you are taking your rent, and where you are paying your rent as well. Some people just say that, I want to charge this because everybody else is charging that. If I'm coming to rent a shop from you for business, in as much as it could be expensive in terms of what the new structures, or other properties around are charging, you should also know the level of your property, what has gone in, and you must also have some heart to make sure that the person who is coming to rent from you will be comfortable, especially financially, because most frustrations from tenants, they come from the fact that most landlords, a lot of the times, are a bit more self-focused. They just want what benefits them. They really don't care what the other people can, the comfort and the financial allowance that they must have. So you have to strike a balance. You don't have to lose everything on your property, but you also have to make sure that the people that because when you build it, if you built it for rent and nobody is renting it, you don't have a complete business. So you need the customer, you need the people who are coming to rent from you, and you have to be able to be in their position. Is key. So rate or put it at a place that you have a lot of people who will be interested in renting from you. Don't just say that, oh, the demand is there. Because sometimes you can put it at a very high rate, and you know that it doesn't make sense. You are the one quoting your price. You know how much it costs you. You are the one quoting your price. You can always come down, or you can always go up a little, depending on some other factors. But I think let your humanity, let your heart guide you. Let your conscience guide you. Let your values guide you. Don't just say that this is what I want. This is what I want to take, and I don't care. You should care, especially if you want to run it as a business. So that you are in a category where you always have people looking for, people who want to stay there for long. People are always coming. People are giving you recommendations, So then your property is positioned where the rate at which that people leave your property will be very much minimal, because you are thinking of the one who is coming to stay with you. And much of it, I think that when the initial money that you take, the advance, if you take moderate, 1 year or less, is better. Now, some people don't understand how our properties are run. We build with our money. Unlike some other countries where the property finance is a bit different, they can give you money, you pay a certain percentage, and they spread the rest for you for years, at a very good interest rate. We have to raise the money. Many of our people would have to raise the money themselves, and they have to build themselves, and they have to rent it a lot of the times themselves. So we have a lot of different components that have been separated in some other parts of the world. We have to handle everything together. It's complex, but at this stage, that's what we have, and therefore, you don't have to say that Ghana they don't take 1 month. They don't take 1 month because it costs them a lot, But we still have to manage it anyway. So your rent, and I say that open a book, buy some exercise book, or on your computer, Excel, or maybe a program to track the rent as they come in. So the whole year. You will say that, oh, I even have just one property. It doesn't matter. What is important is the skill that you're developing. You're developing something that can organize the finances. So you have to write it and say that, okay, this person paid this time, this person paid this time. So the whole year, you'll be able to know the amount of money, that your property brought in. Depending on what you have, whether it's shops, whether it's 1 bedroom, single room, self-compound, apartment, whatever that you have, you just have to be your own accountant, and it helps you. Just a book or something that you can always refer to. It's important. The other thing that you have to keep records of will be the little things that will change on the property, the issues that will come, maybe the pipe, issues, or maybe the light issues. Some door had to be repaired, some painting, all those things that you do little by little in between from January to December. Don't just give the money out and say that, oh, just go here. You should have, because across a certain point, it becomes very difficult for it to be a profitable business if you spend so much on maintaining the property. So you have to have what the tenant would have to handle themselves and what you have to handle yourself. A lot of people, and that's why it's important that you know whoever is coming to rent from you and how they also organize their lives. I see that the more the person is responsible, the more they take good care of your property. The more honest the person is, the more they take good care of the property. Some of them you will never even hear from them, and when you go there, it's still intact because they're responsible. They have good heart. Some people may not care. So it depends on the comfortable level that you want, or the comfort level that you want. So that's why it's important that you know the people who are coming to rent from you and their behavior, at least to a certain limit. But by all means, somebody if there is roof leaking, they have to call you. But if there is some light that is not working, most of them will take care of it themselves. So, but track them is important, because then you're taking this. When at the end of the year, your rent, the total amount of rent that you had from all these expenses that you took from that you did on the property. Will inform you how much you are getting from your property. And then the other one is major problems that you have to solve. There are major things that are capital intensive. Anything, I think that any repair that you do on your property that is beyond 1,000 is a major cost. 1,000 cities in a month is a major cost. It's a major cost. If there is a problem that you are spending 5,000, because how much is the property? Anything that goes beyond 10% of the total monthly rent that you spend in a month, or the total 10% of the total revenue, the total rent that you took, you have to think of it. So let's say you took 20,000 rent for that property for a year, but then there's something that you have to do which is costing you 2,000. That's a major cost. That's not minor. But if you are repairing something that is just 100 cities or 50 cities, there is a tire somewhere or something that the boy you can send to repair around 50 cities or 10 or 100 cities, then that is minor. So, but anything that is beyond 10-20% is major, and therefore you must pay attention. So my name is Kwabena Darko. I'm talking about how some of the things that you have to think through if you want to, manage your property and not manage them well. It's about time that we took time to manage the properties that we have as business, run them as business, organize them well. If you have to even put them under registered, something, it's good. Put them, structure them, because that's one thing that we don't do. We do a lot of things, just we don't. But the moment you start to organize them, you put them under, you have account, you have maybe some registered company. You write the things that you go through. There is an agreement that the tenant would have to sign. You organize, you treat them professionally, treat them well. I don't see why I should come and rent your house and then you want to fight with me whilst I'm paying you your rent, and that is not good. I will not take up that because the moment I pay for it, at least that time I have the space, so I must enjoy my comfort. And but some people traditionally want to feel like, I built the house, even though I've taken rent from you, it's still mine. Yes, it's yours, but then why don't you rent it yourself? So there should be that kind of understanding from you, that even though you have built it, it's yours. One of the things that you have to do is to make sure that you're very nice to your tenant. It's good. Because some people, the moment there is a category of people that will not, they want their peace. They want their peace. They want their privacy. They want you to treat them professionally. But you have to make sure that you keep a lot of things in control. We don't have a lot of companies that are building strictly just in the construction chain. Or let's say they say that we want to build apartments and sell. We don't want to get into the renting and the management and all that. We don't have a lot of them. So most of us who would want to build, who would want to go into this kind of business in terms of, let's say, build apartments and renting them, you have to go design it yourself, go and look for the money yourself and build them yourself, and manage them yourself. I mean, management, you can let some people handle it, but if I've invested that much, I would want to manage them myself, because some other places, they will take money. You have developers, you have people who just invest in them, and you have banks who will give you money. Some people will just construct them and sell them so that people come and buy and rent them. We don't have that kind of structure, so that should guide people who would want to look at our market as well. So my name is Kwabena Darko. Let's recap and say that make sure that you keep records of whatever rent that comes to you, and make your rent a bit comfortable for the category of people that you're renting to, so that you have high level of people looking for your place to stay, high level. You don't want to position it in such a way that when people come, they don't want to come, they want to leave, and when they leave, you have trouble trying to replace them, because some factors may be wrong. Maybe your rent is too high, maybe you don't treat them well, maybe when they call there is no attention, the place is not organized, you bring any kind of people there. You have missed people, people who are family, calm, collected professionals, and you have mixed them with some other people who don't care, who just do anything they want, pound fufu anyway. disrespect people, fight people, those kind of things. If the moment you do that, then you are creating problem on the property, So even if it's a single unit, maybe it's just one structure that you have built, one, 2-bedroom that you be professional. Be professional. And when you are dealing with the agents, insist it's better you build relationship with just one or two that you can trust, you can depend on. It's better that you can, let them prove themselves. Because you can easily get into trouble when the agent wants just money. They are only interested in money, and sometimes they will just go and tell the other person different thing than what you have told them, especially when they know that you trust them and you believe them. So let them prove themselves, and if they go wrong, confront them, and possibly even, you have to do something. Make sure if you're depending on them as well. And some of the things that you can do to make sure that your property will go is maybe print some of the things yourself, hang them in places that people will see, and let people know that you're renting. It's key. And the other thing I talk about is the operational cost. Write them down. All the little things that they buy. The nails. They come to change the lock. They have to replace the tires. The toilet is leaking. The cables are not good. Make sure you take good care of the money that goes out of them. Because at the end of the year, how much came from the property and how much went out, you should balance them. How much came to you on the property. You collected this amount of rent, and then you spent this amount of, how much, maybe somebody is taking care of the property, how much do you pay them? All of them from January to December, you should put them together. And then you see that, okay, this is how much profit came on this business, on this property. And there should be an idea as to how much the property cost you in terms of construction. So if it costs you, let's say 100,000, and when you separated everything, subtracted the rent from the expenditure, maybe you had 10,000. So then that becomes 10,000 over 100,000. That's the kind of money that the property brought from you in terms of profit. So then, if you're making 10,000 every year on 100,000 and you don't increase the rent at all, then you know that it's going to take you about 10 years for you to get the money that you invested in that property back. But if the rent happens to change, then you can reduce the years. And at the same time, if you take good care of the property, then maybe you want to sell it, make a good price. So I want to say thank you very much for watching. My name is Kwabena Darko.